This is question number 24 of homework 11 for on chapter 10. Suppose a firm faces an identical inverse demand curve of P equals 130 minus Q for each consumer in the market. Currently, the firm's average cost equals marginal cost equals $40. Determine the profit maximizing price and identical lump sum fee to charge with a two-part tariff. So this question is a kind of a standard question for the two-part pricing we learned in chapter 10. So if you check two-part tariff, click on this definition. It's basically we have a lump sum fee. So this is like a club membership fee. So once you pay that club membership fee, then for each good within that club, you pay extra fees, separate fees for each quantity of the good. So that's called two-part tariff or two-part pricing. And this is one example of price discrimination. For this, as we learned chapter 10, the price the monopoly here charges should be equal to the marginal cost, and the excess fee, the lump sum fee, should be equal to the consumer surplus. So the first part is relatively straightforward, and you can check that by also looking at my lecture slides. So this is my lecture slides. So for the two-part pricing, you can find two-part pricing with identical consumers. So with identical consumers, a firm can set a two-part price that is efficient, which means price equals marginal cost, and all total surplus goes to the firm. And so the price equal to the marginal cost and excess fee equal to the consumer surplus. So that's the case. And this chart looks like that. So if I just use this chart, or I can simply draw another chart. So in this chart, I have the price and I have the quantity. Okay, so that's the the marginal cost equals the average cost based on this question. So the average cost is $40. So here I just draw a $40. It's a straight line, horizontal line. So this is 40. And then the inverse demand curve looks like that. So P equals 130 minus Q. So based on this equation, it's a linear function and it's downward sloping. The slope is 1, right? 1 minus Q, or 1 times Q. So the slope is 1. And to locate this inverse demand straight line, we just need two intercepts. One is the vertical intercept. Vertical line is the price. So that's when quantity equals 0. So when quantity equals 0, price equals 130. So that's the first point. So it's something here. Okay, so let me use a different colored pen. And the second point on the horizontal intercept. So that's when the price equals 0, right? The quantity. This is the price equals 0. So that's when quantity equals 130. So 130 right here. And this is 130. Okay, so when I connect these 2 points, that's my, well, it's not very beautiful, but you know what I mean here. So this is basically the inverse demand line, demand curve. And since price equals the marginal cost, so price must be here. And so different color pen. And axis fee must equal to the all the area of the consumer surplus. And we know the consumer surplus should be this. In this case, is a triangle, right? The area of this triangle, that's the consumer surplus. And that should be the axis fee, A. And since this is a triangle, so to calculate its area, we just need to know the bottom and the height, right? The bottom here should be, this is 40. So 40, that means the difference, this height and this bottom, they are of equal length because this basically is a straight line of slope 1. So this height and bottom should have the equal length. So this equal length, the height here should be 90. 130 minus 40, so that's 90. So the length, the bottom should also be 90. And you can also check by noting that when quantity, so this is when the quantity that when the price equals 40. So because the inverse price equals the inverse demand curve, demand line is 1, P equals 130 minus Q. So when P equals 40, that's the price. So Q must equal 90, right? That's another way to understand why this length, this bottom, must be 90 and height is 90. So now we can calculate the area of this triangle. That's the axis phi. A equals 90. So it's the bottom times height, and then 1/2 of that times 1/2. So this is, gives me 4050, right? Because 90 times 90 is 8100. That's over 2. That gives me 4050. So this is axis phi, and price equals the marginal cost 40. So now I can just input my answer. So price is 40. So check my answer. Nice work. And profit maximizing, lump sum fee to charge based on our calculation, that's $4,050. So 4050. Okay. So check my answer again. Fantastic. All right. So that's it for this question. So it's basically once you draw this chart and note the consumer surplus area is a triangle, so figuring out the area of this triangle will not be so hard.